One moment. You look familiar.
One moment.
I don't know what
You
you're
look
doing,
familiar.
but something about you just doesn't add up.
Understandable, considering the differences between us.
I'm not talking about that. I have a knack for smelling trouble.
Deathbrand, a pirate's tale. Hacknear Deathbrand was dying. Fargruk Windrime, the ship's quartermaster, was unthinkable. His grandfather had served under Harkear, nigh on 6 years before, and even when he was a legend among the pirates of the north, the king of ghosts they called him, as eternal and pitiless as the sea he sailed. To Garuk, who had seen him charge into battle, clad in armor of gleaming stalhrim, like the kings of old, his twin swords scything men like grass. Hacknear was practically a god, but none feared Hacknear more than his own crew. They knew his rages, his fits of madness, how he delighted in torture and murder for its own sake. And there were some darker rumors. Some said he fed upon the blood and souls of those he killed, the extent his unnatural life. Some thought him a Daedra loosed upon the mortal world. Others said that he owed his life and power, his armor and swords, to a pact with Dagon, Prince of Destruction, and the seal of that pact was the terrible wound that scarred his face, never to heal, the Deathbrand, of which no man could look upon without flinching. All these things ran through Garuk's mind as he took his place on deck, at the head of the crew, exchanging a curt nod with Thalen, the ship's helmsman and his chief rival. By sundown, he thought one of them would be captain, the other would be dead. With Hacknear finally emerged from his cabin, the crew fell silent. He looked frail, his voice raspy, but even so, he had a presence about him as he looked over his men. The most brutal murderers ever to ply the North Seas. Not one could meet his gaze. At last he sighed. You wish to know who will be my successor and how my share of the treasure shall be divided? That was the question. But even so, there were murmurs of protest. Hacknear cut them off. All these years I have looked for one that was worthy to take my place, or strong enough to take it from me. Not one of you even comes close, and so none of you shall have it. He extended his hand. In Dagon's name, I place a curse upon my armor, upon my swords, this ship, and all it carries, until the day when one of you can best me in combat. You shall have not a single coin. He looked up at them. Be grateful I have left you with your lives. Garuk and Thalen shared a single glance. Had anyone else said such a thing, there would have been a mutiny. 100 treasures. Mad pirates against the one old man. But this was Hacknear. The crew was silent. Hacknear threw a map at Garuk's feet. Garuk, take a longboat and bury my armor in the places I have marked. Thalen, we sail to my tomb, where you shall leave me with my gold. Then burn your ships, and do as you will. I am your captain no more. And with that, he turned and stalked back to his quarters. At daybreak, Garuk took his leave and set out in a longboat with 3 of his men. They landed in a shoal to the north of Solsheim, at a place where Hacknear had marked, made camp and began to dig. But already greed stirred in Garuk's heart. Time and time again he glanced at the iron-bound chest they had brought with them. The old man was gone, perhaps already dead, his orders foolish. That night Garuk pried open the chest and drew out the helm within. The Stalhrim shimmered in the moonlight. It was time for a new king of ghosts to rise. He placed his helmet on his head, and he screamed. It is said that you can hear that screaming still on the moonlit nights on a rocky shoal off the northern coast of Solsheim. Postscript. This story is one of the last in the Haknir saga, the tale surrounding the life and adventures of the legendary pirate king Haknir Deathbrand. How much of it is actually true, if indeed any is true, I leave to the reader's discretion. Artiste Draylen, House Redoran Scribe.